My name is Julia. I come from Brazil. I studied business administration in Brazil, in the PUC in Rio, and I decided to integrate EDHEC because when you do a bachelor's, especially in Brazil, but I also think in Europe, you don't have a deep knowledge with the practicalities of the business world. You study a lot of theories, you study a lot of the fundamentals, but you don't have any contact with companies, you don't have the practical knowledge of that a business school can give it to you. So that's the main reason why I chose to come to EDHEC. Yeah. I chose EDHEC because I had a cousin who already studied in EDHEC and he recommended me. And I looked at the rankings, and this is the first thing I did to try to understand which university I would integrate. I chose the country, also France. I wanted to live in France because I like the culture, I like the way that people live. But I would say that for EDHEC, one of the main reasons were the recommendations that I got and the rankings that EDHEC has. And and then the opportunity that EDHEC gives you to choose different double degree options, the career center, that it's one of the, in my opinion, it's one of the best career centers in business school, because from what I know, the business schools, they don't provide as much services as EDHEC provide, and it's a service for life. So this is something that it really triggered my attention when I was choosing the business school. Yeah. When you have to choose a job for your gap year, for instance, they help you to first provide structure your CV. Then they help you to find which job do you want to find, because when we study, we don't have deep knowledge about all of the opportunities that you would have. And the Career Center would give you this ability to better track what you want to do and where do you want to go. And then when you graduate, they also help you to find your first job. They have a lot of connections where you can have recommendations and also mentorship with alumni. I actually had a contact with one of the alumni, which helped me to also understand a bit of the industry that he was in, which was the food industry, but also to have some recommendations for positions in both small and big companies. And after that, you also have the support when you want to move for another industry, for instance, or if you want to review your contract. They also do that. If you want to claim for a better position, they would help you coaching you to how we would ask for that, or and also they have a lot of events where you can networking with other people. If you want to move to different countries, they have the alumni from other countries in Europe. And so for me, it's a complete coaching platform that you can use. The Career Center, first for me as a Brazilian, I have no European citizenship, for instance. So the first thing that they help you with is with visa issues, which is the most basic stuff. And then for me, for instance, I studied in EDHEC in France, but I did my gap year in Germany. So they helped me with this transition because I wanted to experience another country. So they provide me all of the top companies and top alumni that they would have the connection with in Germany. And I talked to a lot of them. They referred me to a lot of companies. And then in the end, I basically chose where I would like to go. And after that, they also helped me to help me finding my path, because I wanted to move back to France, but I also wanted to have a deep knowledge about the European market. So they advised me, okay, maybe you could do an exchange and do a double degree in the Netherlands. So I chose to do the double degree in Maastricht. So I'm finishing now the M2 there, and I then applied for a company in France with their support, with the revision of my CV, for instance, because with this move to Germany, the CV structure is totally different. So I had to adapt again to the French market. And they again put me in contact with an alumni, which helped me to find my track to move back to France. Yeah. EDHEC, for me, they already provide you a lot of practical knowledge in the first year that you study there, but you still are not working. So you are just you have case studies, you have companies in the school that you would work with, but you are not really working. You are studying. So the gap year provide you the opportunity first to really put into practice what you learned, but also to give you an idea of which industry you would like to integrate when you finish your whole master's program. So for instance, I wasn't sure if I would like to go for food industry or for automotive industry, so I did both internships to see what I would like the most. Also, if you don't know if you want to work for a big company or a small company, you could also try different companies when you do your gap year. So the gap year is an experimental phase for me, where you can try multiple internships and then to figure out what you really want to do for your master specialization, but also after the graduation, what you would work for. First, you have a lot of events that that EDHEC provide you in the school. So you would have some meetups, you would have some presentations of the companies such as LVMH or Microsoft, Google. They come to the school, they present the companies, but they also want to see the students. They want to talk to you and to see whether you would be a good fit or not. And it's for me, it's both for the company to understand if you would be a fit, but also for you to understand if you would like to integrate this company. Because I assume that a lot of students, they think that all of those big companies would be amazing to work for, but then you understand it's not exactly what you want. So it's a good opportunity for you to really understand if it is the company you want to work for. But after those meetups and all of those networkings that you have during the school, you also have the career center that would provide you a lot of networking with past students that studied in EDHEC and they're now working on those schools. So they can provide you more knowledge about how is the application process, how would you tackle some questions that they would ask you. So it's a very personal help that they would provide you, and this is very important for me and helped me a lot. It's not a full-time job, it's an internship, but depending on the country, so I would say for Germany and France maybe, you would receive something between 1,000, 2,000 euros per month. And this depends if you go for a startup or if you go for a multinational company. So when you are finishing your gap year, you receive a list of all of the universities that you can apply for. And this is not only in Europe, you can apply for all of the continents, basically. And then you are ranked among all of the students, and then you get the opportunity to choose which 3 options you would like to go. And for me, for instance, I chose to go to the Netherlands because the university is very ranked. Also, the type of learning approach is a bit different than EDHEC, is a bit more theoretical. So I wanted to have both the practical approach from EDHEC, but also very theoretical and research-based studies that the Netherlands provide me, and also to be still in Europe. So for me, it was the ideal format. When you choose for the double degree, no matter where you choose, you have to also choose for your specialization. So the double degree would be not, it's not a continuation and the same as what you were doing in EDHEC, but it's the specialization, which is equivalent of the M2 in EDHEC. So you have the opportunity to choose marketing or finance or strategy, and myself, I chose strategy and innovation because I wanted to create my own startup, and this was what I found that would be best path for me. So, but you have, for every university, you have at least 3 specializations that you could choose. The Grande program, it's a program that is designed for you to have a deep knowledge of the business world, but also to specialize in something in the end. So it's not only equivalent to a bachelor's in administration, for instance, but it's also, you have all of the fundamentals from the bachelor's degree, but also a specialization in a very deep, very deep context in one of the paths that you would choose. So you would have both the degree, which is a business master's in management, but also a degree in master's in strategy, or master's in marketing, or master's in consulting. So you would have in the end 2 degrees in a 3 years program, where you would also have a professional experience in the middle. So it's very valuable if you want to stay in France, for instance, because this is one of the top degrees that you could have there, but also in Europe, because you would have a 3 years program where you studied the basics of business, but also its specialization.